Hello, hello, kindred spirits. In this video, we're going to take you to Aldworth Manor, which is in Harrisville, New Hampshire. And then I'm going to catch you up to speed with the Butler's pantry and kitchen. I'm actually going to get us up to current date. So if this is able to load within a couple hours, you will be current as of Wednesday morning. And things have already been happening, but I'm going to save that for the next video. So I hope you enjoy this. Won't you join me and other kindred spirits by subscribing? And also, if you like this video or my other videos, please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Wait until you see this beautiful manor, and we're going to have a cocktail and then dinner here. And this is our first visit, so I'm anxious to see what it looks like inside. As we're walking through the mud of the parking lot, what did you just say, my dear?
I said a gentleman would have dropped you off in front.
So I guess I'm not married to a gentleman, which he is. This place is like out in nowhere. How amazing. Let's try, I don't know what the door is. I would say the other one, yeah. See, he is a gentleman, and there are many times still that he opens the car door for me. Chivalry is not dead. Right now, I'm just going to take a little peek around. We get to decide which room we want to eat in since we got here so early. And I'm going to be making a return visit to this manor at one point to take a little tour, and I'm going to share more about this property. It actually was built in Massachusetts and was moved to New Hampshire. When I'm visiting other locations, I'm always taking in the detail, thinking about the age of the property. I'm looking at the molding, I'm looking at doorknobs, I'm looking at all types of features, and this does help me in future design projects. For dinner, reservations are suggested, but the bar is walk-in only, and there are only a few seats. And when we first walked in, it was full, but luckily 2 people said they were leaving, so we were able to get a seat at the bar, and it was very relaxing, and we enjoyed an old-fashioned. I said out loud I was going to take a picture of these salted nuts, which were so good, but a little salty, and Ben had to photobomb it on purpose. On a cold winter night, I decided to sit in the first room that I showed you that has the fireplace, and this was my view. We just finished an amazing meal, warm and cozy. Several rooms that people can choose to dine in, separate from the others. Wait, I can't see my step though here. I got a bright light in my eyes. And Ben just went to get the car for me, but now I can see the steps. I was a little blinded there by the light. But yes, this place is beautiful. Here comes my chariot. This place is amazing. I can't believe this was in our backyard, so close to home. We will be back for sure. We just got home, and even though there's mayhem going on here, I absolutely love seeing it. But let me show you here in the Butler's pantry. They started to install everything, and this is where the French door oven's going to go. And I'm loving this darker color. I did say to Ben, I almost wish I did it in the kitchen, but I think I'm going to appreciate that I did lighter here, or lighter in the kitchen and dark here in the butler's pantry. It's amazing seeing it coming together. It doesn't matter how many homes I've redesigned or how many homes I've redesigned for clients. Every single project is just as exciting as the last, and I love seeing this come together. I do look forward to when the mess is not here, but I know it's part of the process. And the two contractors that we have here, it's a large company that we're working with, but we have two men that are working with us, and they are doing a bang-up job. I'm just coming down from my office to go for a little sneak peek to see what they've done so far. One of the other cabinets is just placed here to keep it out of the way. But now that I have some better light, I'm going to show you, let's see, what I selected for countertops. And I am so pleased with this selection. I'm going to do this in all three rooms. I've been carrying around this slab, and now that the cabinets are partially installed, I'm absolutely loving this. And this is going to look beautiful in the tavern as well. But I haven't peeked in the butler's pantry yet, so I'm going to use that in here as well. So we've got the tall cabinet placed, and they're starting the uppers in here. Ooh, exciting. They're just on their break, so a lot of this will be done today. And this is going to be gorgeous in here. I am going to go with beadboard in the back. It will match the beadboard on the other side. It's going to be so nice standing here at the sink, watching the snow, and then in the summer, watching the birds out here. And if you missed it in a past video, the sink is going to also be lower. So I'm going to have that much more view of these trees where birds are always going in and out all 4 seasons. So I'm going to have a little bit of a nature show constantly going on here. I know there was a little confusion about what's happening on this wall too. Now that's just my dishwasher that was pushed out of the way, but let me show you what that wall is. On each side of the oven, we have 2 small cabinets and then 2 cabinets above with the exhaust in between. So I know some people were like, didn't understand what was going on there. And that's what it is. And I have about 40 inches. I'll be able to turn around and use the counter that will then be behind me. So I'll have workspace on either side and behind me for prep. If you have any questions about the kitchen design, or if something's not clear, this would be the time to ask me, and I'm gonna do a question and answer regarding the kitchen. And by next week, it's gonna have a whole different look. I can guarantee you that, unless this illness gets to the workers, and this could be delays that way. But just seeing what they've done so far in the short amount of time, I'm confident. I have to be confident. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek. It's not quite done, but the base cabinets are all in. Just the drawers and doors need to be put back on. So this side is done. They have filler pieces still to put in. And over on this end, let me see if I can make this a little bit more wider. On this end, we're going to put the refrigerator, and there'll be a space here to put a ladder so that I can get up to the top shelves. Now I have to show you, we had a problem, and luckily the cabinet bases were the same. Now if you look at this drawing, the refrigerator was supposed to go next to the sink. Well, I missed this, and the gentleman who designed the kitchen from my sketch missed this, even when he came out to measure. We have a heater on the floor, and the refrigerator wouldn't go there. So luckily, this cabinet was the same size, and we were able to swap them out. And I actually like it better. I like having the drawers on this side. So luckily, that issue was averted. And this is an old drawing. The cabinet now has the French door oven up higher at counter height. So this is definitely another step in the right direction. Definitely. I'm so excited. And one reason I asked them to focus on installing this room first is once this is done and the drawers can be put on, I can fill the drawers, bring the little mini fridge back in so that I have the tavern back to start working in there myself, because right now everything's in there. Then they will install the kitchen cabinets, and then they will install the tavern cabinets, which are in stock. They're just not here yet. Well, good morning, another early morning. And I have to admit, even though I like getting up early to get ready for somebody to come to the door, it's a little bit different. It's kind of invasive, or a lot invasive, but in a good way. I just miss my quiet mornings. Sitting, journaling, drawing, just sipping coffee, reading, whatever it may be. Not these mornings. I'm up, getting ready as much as possible, as much as my body will allow this early in the morning, and then going out to take Willow out, and then waiting for the contractors. But today is an exciting day, and I can't wait to show you something. Normally I would walk right into the Butler's pantry, but little Miss Willow is telling me she needs to go out right now. She is leading me. So I will share my little, it's not a surprise, but more information about what's going on. So I'm just gonna turn on some lights and let's take her out. I still have to get my coat on. My Christmas decor is here on the porch. I'm making stages and walks, but I'll explain that later. So since it is dark outside, this is not showing. I'm thinking I might brighten up these lights inside. Might even use these in the kitchen over the counter. I think those would be kind of cool, but that's something I'm gonna think about. But someday I'll regain the use of the porch, and I'm gonna say it right now, it's hard to see them, but that's a good thing, because my rosemary, it died. It's been too cold in here with the doors being left open. I haven't been able to get over there to water them sufficiently, and even hidden behind these piles are my paperwhite bulbs. By now, I would have planted my paperwhite bulbs, but not yet. So I'm gonna see if I can ask the guys just to make me a little space so I can grab those. All right. At this point, we usually hear or see the deer running away. They're here every morning and every night. I was concerned that I'd wake up to a lot of snow. It was snowing last night, just light flurries when I took Willow out. But today we have supposedly the rest of the cabinets coming, except for my shelves. Now I'll explain. I have 2 glass cabinets coming in that is also gonna have glass on the sides. So the shelves inside are going to be glass, which honestly, I forget. I didn't realize we had glass shelves coming in. Now, I'm finding a lot of things I didn't realize, and here's another thing, being honest. While I was making some of these major decisions for this kitchen, I was on the strong pain meds from my shoulder surgery. So there's some things that I forget saying yes or no to. It's kind of funny, kind of sad, but come on, Willow, over here. Let's get our business done. She's still doing her morning stretches and her squiggles. Being on a dirt road, we get a lot of dust in the house. So I realized that I didn't have the lighting put in because I'm afraid that I will just be highlighting dust. Even though I have the doors, I just don't want to highlight it. I'm being told I still have the option of adding that down the road. I can do some LED strips inside. They can come down the top of the cabinet, but I'll point all that out later once the cabinets are installed. I'm just going to shut the camera off for a moment because we might have some shyness here. She's not going to go to the office without me prompting her, or she might, but we usually have a routine. So I'll be right back. We are all set to head back inside. And let me show you what's going on in the Butler's pantry. Maneuvering around the barrels, around the Christmas decor. And one reason the decorations are still here is Ben is on a trip And I am still getting very winded going in and out, doing a lot of heavy lifting or whatnot. So I'm doing a trip at a time, eating the elephant a bite at a time. All right. Oops, wait a minute. I forgot. Willow's staring at me. I forgot to give her treat. She has got such a pattern. Go into her little bowl here. And she's going to count them too. I'm just giving her one. She's used to getting one outside, one coming in the door, and then one in the kitchen. It's the way I trained her to come in when we called her, which doesn't always happen. All right. All right, I'm going to leave my coat on for a second because I'm still chilled. I decided, he's skipping around, I'm going to bring Glitzen upstairs in my office, and I might just put her up on the wall up there. Why not? Men have, or some women too, they have their deer on their walls year round. Why can't I have Glitzen up there year round? So I think she'll be safer up there. And if I find a box that is conducive to storing her away properly, that would be good. But even some of the little sparkle here has fallen off, and I've got to re-glue that on. So that was that quick going off the subject. All right, I'm going to turn on the light. So let me show you what's going on in the Butler's pantry. And I don't even know what time it is. I've got to keep track. My contractors could be showing up very soon. But today we are supposed to be getting the French door oven, and that will be put in place. I don't know if it's going to be hooked up to be active. I certainly won't be using it, even if it is right now. But they're installing it and said they're hooking it up, but I'm not sure. I'm not even going to think that one through. As long as it's in place and we make sure it fits right, that's one thing. Over here, everything is ready to be templated for the granite countertop. So I'm going to have a shelf down here, and this is being built so that down the road, if I want to do doors, I can. But right now I'm envisioning open shelves with baskets for things like onions and potatoes and, you know, kind of like a pantry would be. So they've put the beadboard here. They're going to finish off all the top, but a lot of this finish work is going to be done after the kitchen install, but they are going to finish the sheetrock here. On this side, they built another cabinet. I'm going to have two removable shelves here, or it's going to be one shelf, but two in sequence, so that, because it's a deeper cabinet, there'll either be a wastebasket in here. I wanted a space to tuck a small vacuum because I don't like my upright stick vacuum, and I'll go over that in another video. Then the microwave will be here. I'm still deciding and can always change my mind. The microwave will either be on the counter, or I'm going to put it up one level and have my counter available for other things. Now, many of you already know the deal with this store, but I'm going to just mention it one last time because I know a lot of you are here for the first time and some missed the idea concept. So we still haven't cleaned it up. This door I found in one of our barns. It was one of two. The second one is not savable. I was going to do two doors that swung open. You'll see the brick inside in a moment, and I'll tell you what that's for in a moment. Don't give away the secret if you know. I was going to have a beautiful chandelier here, but when I found the solid door, it swings open and it would hit that. So I can have 11-inch drop unit, so I'll be looking for something for that. Now, I had some people ask, can this be cut in half? No, it can't, because this door, and I did ask, I agree with you. I said, can this be cut in half? And I'll have two doors. Nope. This door is not like a solid door. It actually has joints everywhere. So if we cut right down the middle, we'd be cutting through this joint, going on down, this joint. The door would fall apart. You know, I was thinking, what's the point of using a door if I'm going to have to cut it, modify it, just for a light? So I'd rather use the old door. I'll clean it up, and then I'll decide later if it's going to be painted or not. But right now, I'm just going to clean it up. But the purpose of this door right now is to go to nowhere. Okay, so for those of you who did not or have not been with me for a while, this wall or this was a solid wall. Nobody knew there was space back here. I had an inkling. That there was space, so I asked a contractor to knock a hole through the wall, and we found all this extra space. And I couldn't fathom covering up the wall to the chimney because I think it's kind of cool to see. So brainstorm, I was thinking, well, can we just frame in? Can we just do this? That's what I would say. Can we just do this? I had them frame it in, and they're going to finish all of this off with, finished board. And then we're going to have shelves put in here all the way up for spices, olive oil bottles, vinegars, things that are just one depth. And I did a video the other day and I didn't use it because it was so dark. Let me go grab something to show you. This is the mess I'm dealing with now because everything that was in the pantry was shoved in here. So I have this food pantry and the other pantry before we took it off just shoved in here versus putting it downstairs. And it was fairly organized, but having to just live out of here for a month or so or more, it's gotten quite messy between all of us. And this is why it's going to be so nice. But I'm going to have to switch hands. But you can envision that there's going to be more depth than even this. I could even do 2 deep if I wanted, if I had 2 cinnamons. So I'm going to have shelving here. So there's something like that. And it's also deep enough plenty deep enough for mason jars. These are my herb salts that I make. And so there'll be plenty of space. Short story long, this is going to be shelves with the back exposed for spices and herbs and things like that. I have a rust stain that I did bins and kills over, and it's still pulling through, but I just say a bottle will hide that. Something will hide that. Anyway, so right now we don't have a knob inside. I found a glass knob to put here, but I'm still not sure if I'm going to use it. I want to see this room complete before I just do over a knob. But right now, this is just that stationary knob that I showed you when I was shopping the other day. All right, now to put these away. 2 hands. I still haven't had my coffee. Now, in the previous video, I talked about my beadboard dilemma, how I was looking for the ceramic beadboard that was just like what I used in Groton because I loved it and it was easy to clean, but we couldn't find it. And then a kindred spirit found it for me and sent me the link. And I will put that link below. But here's the thing, I did a little more research. That particular one, it's like a high gloss, and the one I had was more matte finish, which I wanted it to be to look more like painted wood versus a high gloss ceramic tile. So at this point, I'm going to keep this beadboard the way it is. I just have to do one more coat in the semi-gloss paint. I could even do a gloss paint if I wanted it to be even more wipeable, but I think I'm gonna be fine with semi-gloss. And my guy said that if need be down the road, we could always take out the beadboard where need be or modify this. I don't want to have to do that. I really don't. This is such a beautiful job. It's done. And just because I have something in my mind, this is the same finished look. It's going to be the same finished look. I'm going to have my picture over it like I had in Groton. I'll try to find a picture to insert here to show you the look that I'm going for. So yes, right now, keeping the beadboard as is, and I'll just have to paint it one more time. And if you didn't see these already, some of my base cabinets are in, but the glass cabinets will be going on either side here. I can't wait to see them because when I first told the builder or the kitchen designer that I wanted these cabinets to have glass on the sides and the front, he tried to talk me out of it, and I stuck my heels in. Even on my Oxy, I stuck my heels in, and I'm hoping I made the right decision. I wanted to stand here, and I thought it would be so nice to stand here at the sink And if I turn my head, even though I'm not going to see a lot, I'm going to have light coming in from the dining room. If I turn my head this way, I'd have light coming in from all these beautiful windows. I didn't want to be looking at two boxes like I was before, which, yes, I get, it was fine, but I had the opportunity to do this, and so I went with it and ran, and I'm just hoping I made the right decision. I'll know later. I'll know soon enough. Like I said, the only thing's not coming today, supposedly, is the glass shelves. All right, we're getting ready for the install of the oven. All the doors are on. One's still missing. I guess there was a mishap when it was being delivered. Okay, let's do a Wednesday morning check of what has happened. Oops, wrong switch. Oh, see, it's still early. I haven't even had my coffee yet. Let's start again. Wednesday morning, what is happening in the kitchen? And this is what's happening. The uppers have arrived. Now they still have to be adjusted in their place, but I wanted to show you. When I was mentioning about the glass on the sides, I still can see through. And these are going to have glass shelves so that from the side, I'm envisioning you'll see that pretty green that you see sometimes on glass. So you'll see the pretty green edges, which will go with my color theme in here. The doors have not arrived yet. They still have to work on those. We do have a couple parts missing still from the kitchen because of still quality control. And I guess one door kind of had a mishap en route to the house here, but I want to show you something. Ready? I see a ta-da. The French door oven is in. This to me makes it feel most complete, and then the next step would be the granite. So I was very surprised when this came in because I ordered this without, looking at a photo because I had it in my other house. It was only a year before that. And mine had knobs right here. So I was completely shocked to see, and it's not 421, mind you. I didn't set that yet. I was shocked to see this come in with a touch screen. I also didn't know that it has air fry. No idea. So I was like a little giddy schoolgirl when the installer was putting this in and told me about setting up the app and the whole works. I had, like I said, I had no idea. This room is technically ready to be templated. The only thing that I'm waiting for right now is my sink. And I just checked online last night. It's on the road. I got another black composite sink on a smaller scale to match what's going on in the kitchen because I'm doing the same granite in here as well. And I am getting, I can see it. I can see the vision here happening. So in here, we started with our first shelf that's going up. Now, at one point, they were going to do a cleat, which is one of these. This is called a cleat. We were going to do it all the way around the back, but I really didn't want to see that. I'm short, and when I walk in, I see that type of stuff. So what we ended up doing is I asked them if they could double up the plywood so it's nice and sturdy, and then they put a face frame. So this is not going anywhere, but we did make it removable. And here's where, oops, I'm trying to step on things without tripping. Let me just move back here. So this is where sometimes my visions take over design. And he didn't even roll his eyes at me. I was so happy. I'm like, I would love my shelf or shelves to be able to come out if need be, because I can envision like a Christmas tree here, a pantry Christmas tree with my cookie cutters. Maybe the kitchen tree will be here on a smaller scale. So I know that's silly and I know that's out there, but that's one of the reasons I wanted this shelf removable. I'd like to be able to take it out, and maybe I'll have a tall container with a cocktail in it for a party that's up on a riser. You never know. So he wanted to make them stationary. I'm like, I would really like to have them removable. They're not going to be adjustable heights, you know, like you can with a pegboard, but this will definitely give me the option. And then I think I'm going to do 2 more shelves up top. I'm going to get out some of my ironstone and measure it and see if we can divide that so I get 2 more shelves. Because 1 more shelf would be perfect, but there'll be so much extra space in between. Over here, we're going to do the same. We're going to have that shelf, but the shelf is going to come out just a little bit further so that when I push back the microwave, and I did decide to put it here on the counter, and my contractor's starting to know me. He said, if you put it up higher and we're going to drill, you'll have a cord coming down. He's like, what do you want to decide? I'm like, counter, because I don't want to see a cord coming down. So what we're going to do is create a shelf that is the depth of the microwave, and then I'll be able to still open up the door and put things right here on the counter. And it's going to be similar to what I had at Groton House that was built in a cabinet, but this gives me more counter space, which I think is going to be fantastic. And then they'll put the shelves in here. I mentioned it, I think, early in this video that we're going to do 2 shelves, and I can point this way. We're just going to have like 1 shelf here and then another behind it. So if I want, I can take one of them out and put something in front and still have a shelf in the back to put things up on, if that makes sense. And when I say we, it's really, this has been a partnership of decision making, which I really appreciate. You know, we have this old beam here that was covered, and at one point I was going to keep it exposed, but it just doesn't look right with the cabinets here now. So we're going to do a build out and put a filler piece here and make it look like a beam. It's going to actually wrap. Down below, we made the cover, or the beam cover, smaller, and then we put some angle iron because there really was no place to put the granite on this end other than having it sit on top of the refrigerator. So he got these metal cleats. We put them, or he did put it on here on the cabinet, the wall. And then when the counter expands all the way here, I'm going to have a space to tuck in a little step stool because I want the step stool here to stay in the pantry or for kitchen shelves, nowhere else. This is going to be Linda's ladder. I'm actually going to make it so pretty that, well, it might not be pretty. It might be just a really nice looking wood, almost library one that folds. But anyways, I'm going to have a ladder here that is not meant to be used for painting parts of the house, to go out to the garage, nothing. It's Linda's ladder. And I might even name it that. Because I'm short. I'm not going to be able to. They were joking. There's no way I'm going to get into some of these cabinets without that. So yes, today is going to be adjusting these shelves. They're kind of off skew. They put them up on cleats right now. But we're going to, when I say we, here's again, when I say we, I want to make sure the thing that's not moving here now is the center of this island, which would be my faucet, and also these lights. And right now, the cabinets are off a little bit. I'm assuming they were going to adjust them, but if they thought that was going to be where they stay, nope. Oh, know what my contractor says is nay, nay. I love that. So nay, nay. I want to make sure, can you see the space here difference? They're off a bit, so one has to go over the other way. But like I said, they're up on cleats. I'm hoping that's going to be an easy fix. If it's not, if it's a hard fix, it's still going to have to get done because I'm going to be standing here seeing that difference. I know we have a new window coming in. We were talking about would things shift left and right. My center point is always going to be my faucet, and it's always going to be between these lights. So when you're doing a kitchen remodel, don't feel you have to live with something if you see something wrong, but let them know ASAP, as soon as possible. Because this, I know my guys can take care of that easily. And they were putting these up quickly for me. I didn't want them on the ground with everything going on. We had 3 different groups of contractors here yesterday doing other things with tool belts and buckets. And I'm like, please get those off the ground with that glass. So, just as a recap, if you see something wrong, or look for it before they go on to the next step, because they'll be able to fix it so much easier. And I'm going to show you my seeded glass. Let's get up close and look at that. Can you see the little seeds in there? You might be able to see it better going inside out. Isn't that cool? When I was in the dining room, I was actually able to see out here, and that was part of the goal too. It's the only reason I did these end cabinets, extra light and to be able to see. So when we're here in the dining room, You can still see out. Now we'll have a front door there that will make a little bit change, but it's not blocking all of that light. This is one of those design features that I am so glad I put into this. Think out of the box if you're designing. If it can't be done, they will tell you. And I did mention that the kitchen designer, when I was handing over my plans, tried to talk me out of these end pieces. No, I really wanted to stick my heels in on that because I knew it would be different, and it was a vision that I had.